The game time temp today is looking like it's going to be 76. A little sun icon. I do see some clouds off in the one direction, but, I mean, it's a really clear sky. The T-Mark temperature check. T-Mark, your home team for comfort and control, and the official residential HVAC company of the Buffalo Bills and Buffalo Sabres. We have open phone lines for you. We're going to get connected with our fans and start things off with Pat, who is up here on Bills Game Day. Pat, good morning.
Good morning. Hey, just a couple things I wanted to say. I'm definitely nervous about these guys being out on defense and hope they're going to get back soon. I mean, Ed Oliver really was a game wrecker. You know, he really was instrumental in that win against Baltimore. Another thing I just wanted to say is last week, I mean, if Carolina can beat the Falcons, anything's possible. So I just hope we don't let up. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to win all our games, but if we could try to keep that, home field advantage in play, that'd be great.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks, Pat. The thing about Carolina being the Falcons, I mean, it was a surprise to see them win 30-0. I don't think the Falcons have quite earned the level of they're not going to lose to an inferior team that the Bills have.
Joe and I talked about this week, Jeremy, and there's this, narrative or general concern that Bills fans have when they talk about the Bills playing against inferior opponents, that they play down to their opponent.
I just don't know how often that's true.
I really could find – we found one game since 2020 where the Bills played down to their opponent. And, I don't know I don't know if it's, PTSD about something, but it's just there is this general thought that when the Bills play bad teams, they don't play well. And I think a lot of it has to do with divisional games. Like last week.
Sure.
And the Bills playing down to the Dolphins. The Dolphins were as desperate of a football team as you could be. Didn't turn the football over until late in the game. And they made some plays defensively where they haven't really done that all season long. It's a division game on a short week. They still won by 10 points, by double-digit points. So, I get it. It's not always – I think maybe part of this, Jeremy, too, is that the standard for this team, especially on offense – has been raised so high that in a game you score 31 points, we're all asking, what's wrong with the Bills? Why aren't they stretching the football down the field? During the game, I was one of those guys. It's why aren't they taking deep shots? They need to have a big play here. And I think it's because Josh Allen now has become he owns this offense. And Joe Brady has allowed him to own this offense, that he is more patient, prepared, and willing to take the dump down than he ever has. And I think it's part of the reason he's cut back on his interceptions and turnovers at such an incredible rate that he does. And in a game like that, you don't want to turn the football over. So, I don't know. I sit here and I guess I understand a little bit where if you're going to say in these divisional games, the Bills maybe aren't blowing out teams like they should, I say maybe the standard might be too high for the Bills. Because in a game like this, I can't imagine the Bills are going to do what the Seahawks did to the Saints. Unless the Bills get a blocked punt and a punt return touchdown in the first quarter. I would guess that the Bills take care of business today. I can't imagine they're going to throw almost the 50 spot on this team a week after they just let up a 50 spot against the Seahawks. If they do, great. I just don't know that I'm going into this game expecting that. It is the NFL. I think that Kellen Moore's a good enough coach. They'll have those guys prepared. They have players on the other side. Cameron Jordan is still a top-tier interior defensive lineman in football. Demario Davis, a great linebacker. So they still have players. They have Justin Reed in the back end. They've got some players defensively. They've got weapons on offense. Kamara, we were talking about Chris Olave, who's got some weird numbers this year, but is a very good young receiver. So this is not, to me, the Raiders of the past couple of years. It's not one of these teams that have nothing in terms of talent on either side of the football. They're young, for the most part, at the positions that really matter, and they've got a first-time head coach. So I don't know what your expectations are, Jeremy. Mine are that they win a multiple-score game,
sure.
But I don't know that they're going to sit here and pour on and throw the football down the field like the Seahawks did to Torrey Horton and JSN. So I don't know. Is everyone going to be happy with a 31-14 win, or is everyone going to expect more of this game?
Well, if you'll allow me to borrow some Ryder Cup analogies,
Sure.
I like my golf analogies, so hopefully you out there do as well. Here's what I've landed. The regular season is stroke play, and the playoffs are match play. And when you get upset at the Bills for not airing it out, you get mad at the Bills for not playing the style you want, it's because you want to see them play great, hit aggressive shots, shoot 10 under. There's your analogy. But what do they do out here? What do they do all the time? We hear it from the coaches. We hear it from our conversations with Sal Capaccio. The Bills are going to play a really clean game, really efficient game, and wait for the other team to make a mistake. And if you do that in the regular season with Josh Allen as your quarterback, how many games are you going to win? 13 every year? Easy.
Yeah.
Right? You should expect to win 13 games. Go out. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Play well. Win. End of story. How'd we look today? Who cares? We won. When you get to the playoffs, this is one criticism I would have of the Bills, and this is something we're kind of waiting to see. What do people want to see from the defense? More aggressive. What do people want to see from the offense? More aggressive. Because this team in the playoffs, they have not yet overperformed in the playoffs. Right? Is it not wrong to say they've underperformed? They get knocked out in the divisional round against the Chiefs, against the Bengals. This is a team that has been one of the best teams in football for 5 years, and to have not been to a Super Bowl because, well, the Chiefs are always in your way.
Yep.
And you're always mad about the one thing, it's the match play. You get to match play, you're Scotty Scheffler, and what do? He goes 0-4,
yeah,
and the other team wins. Is he no longer the best? No, he still is.
He still's the best.
But he lost a bunch of match play events.
You're totally right about the transition from the regular season being stroke play and you get to the playoffs and it is match play. It's a different – that's why when everyone this week has been talking about the Chiefs and Ravens game and who is it more important wins that game, the Ravens or the Chiefs? I keep saying if you can keep the Kansas City Chiefs as close to a fringe playoff team as possible – I would rather face the Ravens in the playoffs than I would the Chiefs because they've proven time and time again they can sleepwalk through a regular season, get to a playoff, and become a completely different team. Just return back to the form they've been when they get to the playoffs. They could be one of the worst offenses in football, like they were last year. Show up in
because
Kansas
they get
City,
to match play,
and they get to match play, and they're built.
So all
for
of a sudden
match play.
they are Justin Rose.
Yes,
and they show up and they go 4-0 in the Ryder Cup.
Correct.
And to further this point a little bit, again, like if you're not watching the Ryder Cup or not a big golf fan and don't get golf analogies, there's one more thing to say here. Whatever, I'll bring it back to football, which is the Bills can 17 times this year in the playoffs play efficient offense, do their thing, not turn it over. It is their bread and butter. Not turn it over, wait for the other team to make a mistake. Their last 2 postseason exits, they've not turned the ball over and won the turnover battle and lost the game. Right? So, like, that's not the formula. It is a formula to win, but it's not perfect because you get to one game, you can lose it. You give me 17 of that, you're going to go 13-4 every year. So, to me, like, deep in there is the conversation about how come you're not impressed with the way they won? Well, it's a regular season. They're playing efficient. They're a great team. They're going to go out and the Saints might go 6 of 10 on third down, and the Bills are going to win 37-10. And we're going to say, like, oh, third down defense is kind of rough today.
Yeah.
Like, what are you worried about? They're doing their job. But I know what you're worried about. You're thinking about the playoffs. You're thinking about when you get to match play, when you get to that game, and what's the thing that could crop up? What's the thing that could take it apart again? And I think it's just normal to think about a football team that way. So it's a bit of a loose metaphor, analogy, whatever you want, but it's what I've been thinking about lately. Win however you want today. I don't care. It's the Saints. Just win, be fine.
Take care of business.
Get the 1 seed, and then we get the match play, and we'll discover, what's your formula there.
Somebody. And like match play, the home team gets to set the stage.
A little bit. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So you get to be home. You get to – I don't know. I just kind of keep thinking about if you are – for me, I love that analogy about match play because I have been struggling to figure out how to explain why it is that the Chiefs just are a different team come January, and it doesn't feel like the Bills necessarily have that same switch or haven't historically had that same switch where they turn into a more focused version of themselves. So the best – we always talk about the Bills playing their best football going into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That's what the Chiefs do. It is in their DNA. So I don't know how the Bills change it. I don't know how the Bills flip it on their head. But for me, that's got to be one of the biggest storylines going into the rest of the season. That's why it's, to me, I wonder, to me, at least with the recent success of the Bills, the regular season has almost become a little boring to me.
Yeah. That's for someone to say, like, you're spoiled. Like, but I get it.
I started
know.
the show today talking about how great of weather this tailgate is going to be, or great the weather is for the tailgate today. Because, like, I don't know how many people are expecting to be here until the fourth quarter today.
Yeah. 803-0550. Scott in Charlotte is up next. Hey, Scott.
Hey, guys. Thanks for letting me on. So I got a quick theory about why, Bills fans get concerned about playing inferior teams and about, beating the Dolphins by 10. I've been in Charlotte for close to 30 years. They're just I think that when you have a fan base like the Bills, that where a lot of the fans are more attuned to the point spread than other fan bases. If you're not covering the spread and beating down on a team you should be, that's where Bills fans are like, what's going on. So as far as the Panther fans, they don't pay attention to the spread like that. So those are just kind of my thoughts this morning. So
thanks, Scott. One thing on that, like the Bills are the best point differential team in the league in 5 years.
Right.
So they would have, again, like the thing about covering spreads is those are not equal. What do the Bills have to do? Cover 16.5. What do the Panthers have to do? Cover plus 4.
Yeah, right.
So like,
right.
if that's what you're looking at, how do they do versus expectations? Well, the expectations here are to win by double digits, the biggest spread in the league this year. And we might see a bigger one somewhere down the line, but right now this is the biggest one. So, anyway, thanks for the phone call. 803-0550. Mike in Orchard Park, quickly. Hey, Mike, good morning.
Hey, guys. At the beginning of the week, I wanted to see the D tackles, how we were going to hold up against the run. Now I kind of switched with you guys talking about how good of a deep threat some of these receivers are. I kind of switched into watching these safeties. I'm not worried about the game, but I would be worried if they had a couple home run shots taken over the top of them, just because that's just exposing another flaw, which we think is a flaw. So I just want to see better safety play today, especially with the deep threats that they're going against.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I think safety is another one of those stroke play, match play, regular season. If you don't give up 2 deep shots on the year, we're going to remember those and think, I hope that doesn't happen in the game that matters. Cole Bishop and Taylor Rapp back there, there's a lot of concern about them in the preseason, in part because Bishop was hurt, struggling to get on the field. They had a really bad game, the safeties did in the preseason, so bad that Sean McDermott kind of opened up the competition.
Yeah.
And then Bishop is the guy, and I don't know, how many times are they going to have an offense that can even test them? Baltimore is one.
Yep.
And after that,
we'll see if Kansas City's healthy.
Right. And then the other teams you would have expected, it's Cincinnati, their quarterback's hurt.
Yep.
Philadelphia's week 17. Like, it just don't have a ton
and they're throwing for like 140 yards a game.
Yeah. So, you might have your concerns, and that kind of plays into it, I think. You want to say an inferior opponent, you want to see the Bills kind of put the locks down. But
I've got some thoughts on safety when we come back.
All right, let's do that. Let's dig into the safeties. 803-0550, 1-888-550-2550 to join us. It's our phone numbers. Jump on with us. We got open phone lines for you. Sal's going to check in at some point. We're sitting out here outside the stadium looking at the new Highmark, which is coming together. Everybody that comes into town for their first game in a while, we had some family coming in. They're doing for this game, and I said, wait till you see the new stadium.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's going to blow you away. You've been to a Bills game before. You're going to come down here Sunday, 1 o'clock. You're going to pull in and see the giant spaceship that landed and be like, whoa, that thing looks pretty awesome. So it's always cool to see it going up. All right, we'll get a break in. Back in a snap, brought to you by Snapdragon Apples, the official apple of the Buffalo Bills.